FearScape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time. Coming to you from a mom's basement in nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown, your ghoulish hosts for an evening of terror, Stefan Gearhart and Lance Wayne, the Misters of the Dark.
Welcome to your nightmare, everybody! That's right! This is Stefan and my boy right here, Lance. We are the Misters of the Dark. Hey, Lance, what's up today?
Good evening.
Yeah, we got a good show. Thank you guys for tuning in to Misters of the Dark, where we talk about all things horror and all that jazz. As you guys know, we get our guest for for the evening. And so for this evening's episode, we lured Victoria Elizabeth here with a taco. Pretty easy to get. Lured her right into one of those cages. We had one of the sticks that went underneath of it and just put a taco in there. And hey, Victoria, I didn't think you would actually go on the first try, but you did.
Just like Bugs Bunny.
Tacos are delicious, and they're my first food group. So
that's right. Well, we told her we would, think about not killing her if she would watch this movie with us, and so that's essentially what we did. And so, but yeah, Victoria, we heard you're part of Improv 502 in Louisville. You guys do improv stuff, and you paint with Nerdium. That's all cool. I'm sad that's like the last time you're going to be doing a lot of that stuff. At least, is what I heard.
Wait, you think about? I thought the agreement was I watch it and I'm gonna live.
Yes. They probably have improv in the afterlife, but anyway.
Yeah, seriously, whatever.
We digress.
Stop being so, I don't know, unnegligible.
Yeah, quit being selfish.
Yeah, you're the one that picked the movie. You picked the movie.
Yeah, you picked this film.
Now, granted, we gave you 17 DVDs with the same title on it.
Okay.
Did you think we were watching Boss Baby?
The Baby.
Yeah.
The Baby.
Well, for all of our ghoulish listeners out there, the movie that Victoria did indeed choose from out of the exact same 17 copy is 1973's The Baby.
And whoa, mama.
Yeah, this is, I don't even know that I would call it a horror film, though it may be a thriller, though it may be an exploitation film, though it may be a snuff film. I don't know. This was directed by Ted Post, which we'll get into a little bit. But yeah, this comes from 1973. It's a doozy of a film. The tagline reads, "What goes on in this nursery isn't for kids." Ah, man, that's the funniest part of the whole movie. Anyways, before we get into reviewing this movie with our victim for tonight, Victoria for the night, we are going to get into a little bit of horror news for all of our listeners out there.
Oh, yes. This is the man with no name, Lance Wayne, Anchorman of the world, bringing you the latest in horror news. First up, don't know if y'all heard about this, but there's this thing going around called COVID-19.
Oh, yeah. Didn't our Uncle Jack start that in like a laboratory in Mom's basement?
In Wuhan, China. But anyway, Wuhan. I'm sorry.
Wuhan. Yep.
Yeah, I get all my news. I get all my news from InfoWars. But either way, this is this whole COVID thing's kind of putting a damper on everything. Like movies haven't been coming out, concerts.
People haven't been walking around. We haven't been able to kidnap and murder anyone in quite a while.
No, and also for the people that we are abducting, wear a mask.
Wear a mask. I don't want to get sick. I don't want you spitting on me when I'm cutting your throat.
Yeah, I mean, don't wear a mask.
Sorry, Victoria.
Don't kill yourselves. That's our job. But anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to wear a mask eating a taco.
Well, you're allowed to, it's just when you're screaming and gurgling blood, we don't want you spitting that stuff. We're social distanced right now.
Think of somebody else for a change.
Look,
wait,
you're tied to a chair. You're not getting anywhere near us. It's fine.
You're 6 feet away from us.
Yep, not 6 feet under, 6 feet away. And if you don't wear a mask, you're gonna be 6 feet under. The more
anyway. This is also, it's looking like this is going to put a damper on all the Halloween activities coming up, trick-or-treating, and even the haunted houses.
Man, I'm telling you, I had a sweet Betty Boop costume I was going to wear this year too, Lance.
Jesus. Well, thank God. Thank God they're canceling Halloween then, because spare everybody from that. But according to iHorror, there's going to be this new thing going around that's called a drive-through haunt experience. And what iHorror has to say is, recently we shared the sad news that Universal Halloween Horror Nights is being canceled this year, which you get a twofer right there. There's news like that.
Yeah,
that's the first time it's been canceled, and my God, it has to be 20 years.
Yeah,
but it says there is a bit of hope coming out of Orlando, Florida this week, though. Looks like haunted drive-thrus might be coming to save the spooky day.
Woo!
The Haunted Road is a contactless haunted experience that allows you to enjoy the spookiness of Halloween while practicing social distancing from within your vehicle. The entire event was designed with physical distancing measures in mind, from contact-free check-in by license plate to immersive drive-in scenes, the press release describes. Japan announced earlier this year that they would have a haunted drive-in garage experience. Their experience would have the haunt play out around your vehicle. It seems that the Haunted Road is taking from that experience and expanding it a bit. Attendees of the drive-thru haunt will experience a ghastly rendition of an untold story of Rapunzel as she journeys into a world of disarray, faces, blood-curdling creatures. I'm sorry, I can't speak today.
I love blood-cuddling, Victoria.
Blood-cuddling, yeah, that's the best kind. And hundreds of shocking scares. So yeah, I think.
So here's my questions. Okay, first of all, this is like what it's like Christmas. Okay, so the steal from Christmas, like when you drive through, like the Christmas lights experience, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not in for that because listen, as much as I like killing people and then scaring people, I don't like getting scared. And if you're scaring me and I'm in my car, I'm slamming on the gas, and then everybody's dead, and then I'm responsible.
Well, I mean, at least it's outdoors, so you don't got to worry about exhaust fumes or anything like that.
That's true. Well, unless you're in the haunted garage.
Yeah, that is.
But with the road, I mean, I guess they would have them stop at places, I would assume, and then put the car in park. Because you would have to, man. Because how people just are already like ready to punch somebody in a haunt. Like, imagine when you're in your car, man. Because I'm gone.
I can't wait to see somebody get scared and punch the window. I don't know. That's. But no, I think it seems like a cool little idea. Honestly, I mean, is it as good as a haunted house? I guess no, because you don't have that physical interaction or whatever.
Yeah. What was that?
I was just gonna say I could see it working if they did it like where you go to the car wash and you put your car in neutral and like it takes you through that way.
Right.
Like I could see that being like a safety measure, but
then
I'm
it's
a little
like
work too.
are your windows down or open? Or I mean,
yeah,
you know, and it's like
specify.
And here's what I would do is I would do the drive-in technique where there would be like some radio station that would play all the sound.
Yeah.
And you could go through, and it could even be all pre-recorded. I mean, it don't matter, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very interesting, but yeah, I would bet that something like that's going to happen in other states as well. In fact, I'd love to talk to Liv and Eli, our friends from Improv 502. I bet you their people are already trying to figure out new ways of doing stuff. We should kidnap them one night and have them on and talk about haunts. That'd be a good idea.
Virtual haunted houses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, man, I'm telling you, those VR haunted houses scare me.
I've never tried one.
Oh man, they scare me. I need to get a new one now because I broke my last one. So
I've always liked my haunted houses in automatic.
Hey,
coming at you like
yeah, that's a word.
But anyway, I wasn't meaning to come off with such a holiday sort of theme, but according to Bloody Disgusting, there is going to be a Gremlins. And forgive me, I can't pronounce this right. Advent?
Yeah.
Advent?
Like an advent calendar?
Yeah, Gremlins Advent calendar.
I am totally down for that.
Yeah, it's going to release in fall of this year, and it's from Jack's Pacific.
Now, that does not surprise me because, you know, there's the animated show coming out on Netflix soon. Something Secret of the Mogwai or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's going to tie in with that.
Yeah, it says here the Gremlins Countdown calendar features 31 different slots meant to be open daily with a fun Gremlins minifigure standing 1 inch tall, nestled inside of each of those boxes.
Man, that would make me Catholic again, that's for sure. That's all it would take. That's all it would take. I would be praying.
Well, for me, it's just like for somebody who hates Christmas, this actually is something I could get behind.
Yeah, we're into Krampusnacht around here.
Yeah, because that's something that's really popped up in recent years. Is I guess it's been going on for a while, but it's becoming more and more
commercialized.
Yeah, that here lately is the whole horror Christmas thing. Yeah, it's like there's always a horror,
and I think it's kind of like, you know, I'd like to pay homage to things like Black Christmas or like, you know, Silent Night, Deadly Night. But honest to God, it was really this resurgence of Krampus. I think that has really put that, and maybe Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially, I mean, God, man, there's like 50 Krampus movies now that it's crazy.
Only one worth a damn is the 2015 one.
Oh yeah, that one's really good. Though I do like that one with William Shatner where it's like different Christmas things where he's like a radio DJ or whatever. That one's pretty good if you haven't. It's called like Christmas Nightmare or something like that. I highly recommend that one. It's good. It's stupid.
I've only seen the one. It's just, I cannot remember the title for the life of me, but it's very straight to DVD, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's like at some point, Krampus brings this girl chained up like to this cave, and he meets up with Santa, and Santa just starts beating the hell out of this poor woman. I mean, it's like Reservoir Dogs meets Christmas.
I think you were watching a porn called Krampus.
Wow. Wow. How long did it take you to think of that?
Just saying. Just saying. Wow. And the tagline is, have you been naughty or naughty?
Good night, everyone.
People are listening to us. So,
Who's the real victim here?
Yeah, who's the real victim, Victoria or the audience? Because it's not us.
One of you.
It's not us. It's not us. A shout out to that person. Thank you.
That one person that is really looking forward to hearing from us.
Thank you. But yeah, any other news going on that we need to be in the wire for? There, Lance Wayne, the man with no name, man of the world.
No, I believe that's it. So with that, this has been Lance Wayne, the man with no name, Lance Wayne, give you the latest in horror news. Remember, that is the man with no name, Lance Wayne, Anchorman of the world.
I love that man. I love that man. But what I love more is discussing this awful great movie that we're about to discuss.
What I love more is babies.
I love babies.
Especially 21-year-old ones.
So we're going to take a very, very quick sponsor break, and then as soon as we get back, we are getting jammed into this like a baby gets jammed back into
elbows deep.
Elbows deep into this womb that's called the baby.
Oh my God.
All right, ladies and germs, we are back. We have loosened Victoria's hand ropes a little bit so that she can...
Her hand ropes.
Her hand ropes. Yes, hand ropes. God. Just so she can have some popcorn or whatnot. But we're going to be discussing the 1973 titular film, The Baby. I mean, this movie.
Did any other movies even come out this year? Year of 1973.
I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
The only film that matters is this limited release film called The Baby, directed 1973, directed by Ted Post. Now, this is interesting because Ted Post is the guy that directed Magnum Force. That's right, a Dirty Harry movie, which is a pretty damn good movie because that's the one with what's her name? Tate. Oh God, now I can't talk.
Tate?
No, the sister of the guy from Wings. Holy moly, my brain just stopped. Daly. Tyne Daly.
The dude who did the voice for Superman?
Yes.
Okay.
So Tyne Daly is his sister. She's really young in this. But anyway, she's in that. She's not in The Baby. Just want to put that out there. I was confused about where I knew Tyne Daly from. But anyways, he also directed Beneath the Planet of the Apes, as well as an episode of Twilight Zone and some other TV stuff. So kind of confused here. Because he took this shit really seriously, and I don't think that it intended to be a cult classic, though. But essentially, so this was directed by Ted Post, written by Abe Polsky. This film stars Anjanette Comer, Ruth Roman, Mariana Hill,
Carter.
Not quite Linda Carter, Suzanne Zener, and David Manzi. And this tells the story of a social worker who investigates an eccentric family, which includes Baby, who is a 21-year-old man. This says who acts like an infant. I don't think he's acting. I think he thinks he is an infant. So
like in real life?
No, in the movie. Like it says that he acts like that.
Let's break him on.
I don't think that the character was play acting. I think he really thought, I really think that he thinks that he was a baby. Now, what's interesting about this is most movies that we talk about, we're able to see the budget and we're able to see how much it made. It's not existent on this page, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that it made no money and it had no budget because it looks like it didn't have.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was distributed by Scotia International and Quintet Productions. I wouldn't have stamped any of my companies on this. But yeah, let's talk about this movie a little bit. So, I mean, essentially you got these three ladies living in a home. You got the mom and two hot daughters.
Yeah. That was something, yeah, that I wanted to bring up was it wrong that I found the daughter so attractive? especially when that one later on in the film, like I stated earlier, looks like an extra in a Motley Crue video. With her hair 2 feet off the top of her head.
For sure, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, definitely at times the fashion and some of the things seem like it was made in 1983 and not 73. Yeah. So I guess in a way, this movie was ahead of its time.
I mean, I don't know if you could make this movie now.
Oh God, no! Oh no!
Especially in '73, you're just coming out of the '60s and stuff. So
regardless, I mean, like we said, so we got these 3 ladies. They live in this big house, and the social worker shows up, who is Anne Gentry is Ann Jeanette Comer plays the social worker there. And like we said, we totally thought she was Linda Carter.
Yes.
Flat-chested Linda Carter. Because, I mean, seriously, that's the only thing that made me go, this can't be Linda Carter.
Yeah.
And I looked her up. Was not her.
Well, that and the fact that her name isn't.
Yeah, it's
Linda Carter.
It's Ann Jeanette Comer. But I swear, I mean, even then she looked like somebody I'd seen before, and I looked through all of her list. I have not seen anything. I mean, maybe something like where she was on an episode or something or whatever. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
She did look very familiar. I couldn't place her at all when I was watching it, but she's got that face that you've seen it before.
Yeah, we're pretty sure that it's that she looked like Linda Carter. Like that's what it's boiling down.
I'm not seeing anything really familiar on her film or TV
I told you, I went through it, man. I don't know who she is, but I mean,
on a couple episodes of, it looks like she was on Gunsmoke, Bonanza,
right? Which is interesting because Ted Post also directed episodes of Gunsmoke and Bonanza and stuff like that. So I wonder if he picked her because he had worked with her before.
I must have.
Because, I mean,
possible.
Go ahead, Victim.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say also, sometimes when people were in episodes, but they didn't have a major role, they're not credited too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything's possible. But I thought she did a pretty good job for her role. She
earned an Emmy nomination, it says here, for outstanding performance in a supporting role.
Yeah, she did. An actress. She did pretty good. She wasn't bad. I mean, she, in terms of acting.
For The Baby.
Oh boy.
No.
No, but no, she did pretty good. She wasn't bad, and she actually played a pretty standard 70s stereotype of actresses at that time that we've seen in horror movies from the 70s before. I mean, it's just kind of that spunky, but down to earth at the same time, strong female.
I hear the world under my feet.
That's because we buried someone alive. But anyways, so she's a social worker. She plays a social worker. So her point is that she's going to this house to check in on them. Well, this is not the first time that they've had social workers. And of course, as we already said, the baby is actually a 21-year-old man. So
named baby.
Yeah. So somehow, the state is giving them money. I guess because he's got a mental disability.
Well, they never really specify, do they?
Yeah, she just said that we live off of the money we get from the state, from social services for the baby. But it seems as if they're treating the baby as if it's a baby because she seemed like CPS to me, like Child Protective Services.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. I thought she was, honestly.
Yeah. It was never specified which department, but yeah, she's in there because she had heard through one of her friends about this, and she was very, very keen on getting in there, and she fell in love with baby right off the bat. So.
Yeah, and I don't know, personally, I mean, I don't want to spoil the ending yet. Mm-hmm. But, wait a minute. That's something I guess we should say. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, we're probably going to talk a lot about it and give shit away. Because we're assholes. That's what we do.
And we kill people.
We do.
But, anyway, I mean, I don't know if this was something the filmmaker was going for, but it was like up until like the reveal of just why she is so infatuated with Baby.
Yeah.
I thought it very screwed up. Very, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they make allusions to her losing her husband pretty early on, because I think like the mom's like, well, I know you'll just get to go home to your husband and your children. And she's like, I have a husband. I mean, I had a husband or something like like he died in a wreck or some shit that was alluded to and all that stuff. But regardless, like, you know, the mom, this mom, like, if this was made today, would need to be played by Jennifer Tilly or Kathy Bates, one or the other, just depending which angle you're going to go for.
Jessica Lange.
Yeah, Jessica Lange, yeah.
That'd be a good one too.
Yep. She's something else, but I mean, she's basically, you know, like trying to talk her out of it because they don't want the social workers coming there and messing with the baby because they know it's a 21-year-old man. So they don't want their money taken. But somehow they decide, okay, we'll let you keep coming. But the best part is the next scene, which is the only actor in the whole thing that I knew, was her boss at the social services was the mafia boss in the first Rocky movie, the guy that Rocky's working for.
Yeah, like what's the actor's name? Do you know?
Oh God, I don't know, but I've been seeing him in some other stuff. Actually, I think he's the same guy that's in Maniac.
Well, there's a guy here. He's in a Rocky movie. He says also. I can't remember, but it says he appeared in Rocky as the sports administrator for the Soviet team. So was I Rocky 4 where he boxes?
So this guy I'm talking about is Joe Spinell.
Okay, now then we're talking about different person.
Yeah, Joe Spinell. He's the main guy in Maniac, the main killer in Maniac. And he was Gazzo in the first and second Rocky movie. So, like, in the very beginning of Rocky, when he's, like, having to go break that dude's leg or arm because he didn't pay the mob boss guy. This is the mob boss guy. He's got the big sunglasses on and rolls up in the car and all that stuff and yells at Rocky for not breaking the guy's leg. That's who this guy is. And like I said, I've been seeing him, like, in so much crap lately. I don't know why, like, he's been standing out to me, but he's in a ton of, like, horror movies and TV shows. And of course, he's most famous for being in Maniac. So, which is on my list for us to cover someday. But yeah, I mean,
that's the film about the dude and who scouts people, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like one of the early films. Horror films, but he's in the last horror film and Night Shift and Vigilante and Nighthawks, which I believe is another Ted Post movie. I believe I could be wrong on that though. But yeah, Ninth Configuration. God, I've seen a lot of these, and so I've seen him in a lot of stuff. So yeah, so that's why I got excited because I'm like, hey, I know that ugly guy that kind of looks like he could be Ron Jeremy's dad.
that nasty looking son of a bitch. I've seen him somewhere.
But yeah, this movie is weird, and it spends a lot of time essentially, I mean, a good 20 minutes, 25, maybe 30 minutes, like just watching the main character and the baby, like, just interact. And the one, like, I will say the one unnerving thing about this movie was the fact that they used an actual baby cry and scream for Baby sound effect. And it weirded me out. Like, I think I would have preferred, like, the man's voice to be crying instead of an actual tiny baby's voice.
Yeah. This whole film just there wasn't really, like, it's one of those films where it's almost like the only thing I can compare it to is and I'm not trying to just because, you know, of it's recent or whatever, but it's like Tiger King where there's like all of the main people, like, you just don't like.
You don't like anybody.
Yeah, because even the social worker, it's like you can already tell that she has her like own agenda.
Oh yeah. And they present some of that early on, where essentially she wants to take baby away from them.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. I mean, the very beginning, the opening credits, you can tell that there's something else going on there.
Oh yeah. It's so apparent. But what I don't know which order this happens, so I don't care. But the babysitter that they have, so the girls decide they're going to go out. The girls and the mom decide they're going to go out, and they get a babysitter. So once again, here's somebody I thought I knew who it was. The blonde little babysitter I thought was the chick from the first Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, really?
Because she had that same haircut and blonde and everything. But then when they got close in on her, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not her. And I looked her up, and she was in like 4 things. So it was not her. But again, I was deceived. And Jesus, man, that was like 73 versus what 70 or 80. So she would have been, that would have been 7 years prior. Yeah, I should have been. Immediately I should have been like, well, that can't be her. She'd be 12.
And I don't know about 1973 standards, but you couldn't be 12-year-olds filming the scene that she was in.
No, and well, and that's the thing. So here again, so to talk about how it's ahead of its time, here she is having the same haircut that old girl had in 1980 in the first Friday the 13th movie. So here's another 80s hairstyle in 1973.
This film predicted the future. We're really not giving it as much credit as it does.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, here's this chick, she's like babysitting, and you're waiting for baby to like kill her, or like, like I'm immediately thinking this is like a large Damien here is what I'm waiting for. No, it just gets really awkward.
That's not what I thought was going to happen. What happened is exactly what I thought was going to happen, and I'll tell you why.
You predicted.
Let me tell you why.
Wait. You were like, oh, there it goes.
Wait. Yes. You want to know why? Yes. She didn't have on a damn bra when she walked into the room.
1973.
Okay? That don't matter.
Nobody had a bra on.
Nobody wore a bra.
Not even Nixon.
It doesn't matter. It was set up for that. You could just tell. You could just tell. I knew, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a female,
Probably.
But I knew that's where that was gonna go.
This was from personal
it didn't
experience.
make it any less creepy.
I will say,
what actually happened to you?
I will say, Lance, that there was somebody that did wear a bra, and that was J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh yes, okay, yes, yeah.
But yeah, nobody was wearing a bra back
then. Of his
then.
time too.
But yes, maybe that's a female thing. But you would think the two perverts here would be the ones that would be like, oh, this is about to happen.
No, because see, you guys, when it comes to like children and females, it's a different bond and experience for them than it is for guys and children. I guess. And so even though this guy is supposed to be 21, which by the way, I'm sorry, I didn't think he was 21. I thought he was definitely in his 30s. So I don't know how that is passing. Yeah. But no, I just, as soon as that I saw what was going on, I was like, this is not going to go well, and I'm not going to enjoy the scene.
Well, at all. And so what happens is, for those of you that refuse to watch this movie, and I don't blame you. So part of what we do here,
what a way to start everything off.
Part of what we do here for you is watch bad films so you don't have to. But what happens is they go in there and she's playing with baby. This is not the social worker. This is the babysitter. She's playing with baby, and baby starts crying. And so, because he jumps at a ball or something and hits his head or something. I don't remember. But she's like holding him, and then he like starts grabbing her boobs. And I'm like, okay, the truth is coming out. This dude's going to try to rape her, man, is what I'm thinking. And again, he's going to kill her. He's going to like slam her head.
Oh, okay. So you thought, okay.
I thought it was all going to be a sham, and I thought this was like I was thinking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like he kills babysitters and then they eat them, and that's why they don't need money except for what comes from the state. None of that happened. What happened was even weirder. So he's like grabbing at her boob, and she's like, "Oh no, don't do that! Oh, don't grab my! Oh, is baby hungry? Oh, let's get you a bottle." But baby's like, "No, I'm gone." Next thing you know, like her shirt is hanging off, and the baby is sucking on her teeth.
Yeah, it like what was disturbing to me, and I don't know, like like Victoria stated, maybe it's just something
maybe
we can't understand, but it was like she was almost getting off on it.
Yes, well, that's what made it extra awkward, okay? Because the last time that I saw a baby suck on a mama's teat that wasn't her own was the hand that rocks the cradle, okay? And so I was, but she didn't get off on it. She was just trying to make that baby her own. So,
that's just a statement I never thought I'd hear in my time.
Have you ever seen Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
I haven't, but
oh man, you should totally watch Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Yeah, this like live-in nanny comes in and slowly like tries to like make this baby her own by like making her drink her breast milk, so she gets used to that and doesn't want her mom's, and so her mom starts to think the baby doesn't want her. It's crazy. It's got I think it's Rebecca De Mornay. It's either Rebecca De Mornay or Rosanna Arquette. I can't remember. But one of them. I think it's Rebecca De Mornay. It's a really good movie. But yeah, that's the last time I saw that. Well, here we got a 21-year-old man, maybe 35, grabbing at the... Which, by the way, if she's a babysitter, we have to assume she's probably 16 or 17, I would assume.
That's exactly what I thought.
And
exactly what I thought.
Her parents are okay with her watching this 21-year-old man. She's okay with watching this. They only have enough money from the state, so it's not like they got loads of cash.
Well, if you think about it, like the house has been with them for a while, so they probably don't have a mortgage. Let's if we think about this realistically for a moment. You have that. And then on top of it, the sisters do have side gigs. So there's that going on. And then we don't know what kind of sugar daddies Mommy Dearest has,
Oh, that's quite apparent in the scene later on.
Right. So,
isn't she getting some money from her late husband or whatever?
Oh, yeah. I think they did mention something about that there was.
No, I thought that there was no income, if I remember correctly in my notes here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because that's why they had to get money from the state.
But she's had previous husbands, though, that have died.
Yeah.
The latest one, Baby's father, he's just disappeared.
Yeah. So there's no telling what kind of inheritances there were or whatnot, but I totally lost my train of thought. What was the question?
I don't remember.
This movie will do that to you.
It will.
Just about whether or not they had inheritances or where they had money, because how are they paying this 16-year-old?
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, and then the fact that why are like the 16-year-old's parents allowing her to watch this child? Right. Well, I think the reason why was because, as far as anyone is aware, he has a mental handicap to where he truly believes that he is a baby, and there's no way around it. Like this is a baby. This is
true, because this was not something hidden. We later on they have a house party and everybody and their mother's there, and the baby's there like it's no big deal. So I guess that's a thing. Yeah, I didn't think about that. This could be a neighborhood. But I mean, she doesn't have to be 16. She could also be like 18 and be a college student.
Sure.
You do weird shit when you're independent for the first time. I did Lance.
That's another podcast.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so she's getting her teeth sucked.
Vodka, my only friend.
She's getting her teeth sucked by. God, I love the word teat. She's getting her teeth sucked by Baby. And
turns you on.
He's totally getting off on that. And the mother and the daughters come home early just so they don't have to pay extra.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite line in the whole movie. She's like, "Ooh, girls, we got in a little bit early, so we don't even have to pay extra."
Yeah.
Oh, let's go see Baby. And they go upstairs. They kick open that door, and oh my God, they walk into Baby sucking on her teeth, and Mama loses
the hell out of her
damn mind. The sisters grab her, rip Baby off, hold her down, and then she just happens to have a rope or a whip or something, like just hanging out in Baby's room, and just beats the shit out of this girl, man. I assume she's dead, though at one point I'm pretty sure at the party later on she walks by as an extra. So
because after the mom beats the hell out of her, don't the two sisters, they just end up kind of pushing her out of the room, don't?
Yeah.
Well, they beat her about the face really bad, and they said, "Stop, baby's watching. You don't want baby."
Oh, yeah.
And then they told her not to come back or tell anyone, or else no one would believe her or something.
Something along those lines. Yeah, pretty standard abusive tactics there.
Right.
So yeah, okay. I guess she didn't die, but I'm still pretty sure she walked by as an extra later on. But whatever. But yeah, so that was awkward.
Yeah.
But that's the first.
That's the perfect way. That's the perfect way to describe this film. Awkward.
Yeah.
I just I felt like I just walked in on somebody like jerking their gherkin or something. Yep. That's the feeling this film
This
gave
movie
me.
is horrifically awkward.
Yeah.
Like from start to finish. And I don't even know what happens. This is when Anne tries to take away the baby and all kinds of stuff. So we meet, is that her mom? Is that who that is?
Judith?
Mother-in-law. Yeah.
Okay, so Judith, who is, in my opinion, the weirdest character in the whole movie. Now, granted, I have hindsight, but she weirds me out.
Yeah. Can we talk about the scene right before they get to Judith though and start that? It was after the babysitter.
Yeah, please. I don't remember.
Situation. And there's actually a couple of scenes in there before that, and it's when we really so I don't know about you all, but I already got a sense and a feeling in the very beginning from everyone that they were purposely keeping baby as baby.
I got that too.
Yeah.
Right. So when you see the cattle rod and you see Alba, the younger sister,
that's right.
And basically telling him, you don't talk. Baby doesn't talk. The baby doesn't walk. And is cattle prodding him every single time.
Yes. There's that scene too where they're outside and he's in the playpen.
Right.
The younger sister is yelling and saying all that stuff. And he's in that weird grandmother's sweater, which was really weird. It's female clothes. I didn't get that.
The Mrs. Voorhees sweater?
No. That was Mrs. Voorhees had a more handsome sweater.
This was a more masculine sweater.
This essentially looked like your great aunt's sweater, and she sewed some doilies to it. That's what essentially this looked like. Yeah. But I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's when we really start to see, and then it makes you wonder, well, when did that start? When did they start training him essentially through abuse?
Right, and it's was it just to get money from the state? Was it to cover up something that happened? Did he see his dad get murdered or something? Because immediately you're set up to think, man, these women are murderers.
Yes,
that's and it's a total deflection away from the CPS worker who we feel has weird intentions, but we let it go because we see the cattle prod. We see them beat the shit out of the babysitter and things like that. Yeah, so I think it was a very good deflection to make us really distrust these women, which was easy in the 70s.
Yeah, and then what was the scene after that? It was Germaine in her nightie.
Oh, yeah, the whole...
What was that?
I didn't realize that was this soon. Okay, yeah, so the weird incest.
Yeah.
So the really tall one, the hotter one of the two, so she goes in there...
I kind of preferred the blonde.
Both.
I digress.
Whatever. They go... She, baby's crying or something, so she goes into baby's room. I didn't realize that happened so soon. But then all of a sudden, she takes her nightie off, and it's assumed that she goes in with baby.
Right.
And you're like, it was already awkward that there was teat sucking here, and now we've got brother-sister incest? I think. I mean, if he's mentally a baby, can he get a hard-on?
Yeah, and essentially, and I mean, I'm not making a joke, but almost like pedophilia.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if they legit think that he's a baby, it is indeed pedophilia.
Yeah.
Right. And even though he's a baby, his body is still going to function how it's supposed to if he didn't think he was a baby.
Which, by the way, this is how I feel about Forrest Gump and Jenny doing it.
Really?
I know.
Honestly?
She took advantage of Forrest. I'm just saying.
Well, yes, I will say that there was something to that degree, but also, I mean, he loved Jenny.
Yeah, he wasn't a smart man, but he knew what love was.
Shit, it happens. Like teat sucking.
Like teat sucking.
Well, needless to
Stefan
say,
is all about the teat tonight.
well, I'm trying to forget about the incest that happened because I forgot.
And Forrest Gump?
And it was such a random, like, moment, and it was quick. It wasn't like this was long, lingering moment, and it was like, you know, the mom walks in, and it's like, no, you shouldn't be. No, it was lightly hinted at, and then never spoken of again.
Yeah, it was weird.
Did you think maybe like the scene like that? Do you think that like they were genuinely trying to like, I don't know, say something or add another layer to this film, or do you think they just did it for shock value? They were just like, well, we have all this other fucked up stuff.
I think shock value. I mean, Grindhouse films were super huge at the time. I mean, you know, like exploitation was massive.
See, the thing with this film though is like, I honestly, while I was watching it, I was thinking like, I was actually thinking like, how good it was filmed. How good this, like, if there's one thing I could say good about this film, it is the cinematography, and you know,
especially
it's filmed like it, you know, it's filmed, it's legit.
Yeah,
it's just the subject matter.
Like it seems low budget, but filmed well.
Yeah.
And then
nothing like innovative or anything like that, but I mean, it was like you said, it was filmed well.
Yeah, but I mean, Anne essentially threatens that she's going to take this baby at this point, but because of all the neglect that she's seen,
But why? But why is she threatening that?
I'm just saying she's using the guise of her job by saying she saw the prod, she saw the baby was being neglected, that he's being forced to wear diapers and things like that, and that she wanted to get him out of there. But something feels off about it because she doesn't seem like she wants to get him out of there as an adult. She seems like she wants to get him out of there as a baby.
Right. Well, and do you feel like if the mother hadn't gotten her thrown off the case because she was getting so suspicious, that it would have propelled the movie the way that it did for the next events? It's
possible. It's possible. But yeah, I mean, that's essentially what happens. And somehow the mom convinces her, hey, don't do this, you know, because Judith is in on this as well. Judith is like, we got to get this man child out of there. And so Mama Bear is like, hey, let me make it up to you, we're throwing a party, come on over, let us show you how good we can be, and all that stuff. And already you're like, oh bitch, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go. These women are ruthless. You're going to be dead. Because I'm still at this point, I'm still like, man, these three ladies are evil. They're killing people in the name of baby. And because, we really haven't had any murder. So
right.
Then we get to the party, my favorite part of the whole movie.
Wait, who was your favorite character during the party?
Oh, man. It's definitely not Creepo McGee.
Danny or Uncle Denny, something like that.
I don't know. To me, it's Mama. Yeah. I mean, Mama is my favorite character in that party. Her cutting a rug with that dude. Because you got your standard, like, standard creepozoid 70s dude. He's got his butterfly collar on, and he's like just hitting on any woman that he can.
Smoking a joint right out in the
Smoking
open.
a joint, drinking, and he's like, you need more to drink. Like, obviously, this guy wants to slip a freaking Mickey in your drink. He's that guy. And
yeah, because he wants your skin.
Yeah, and there are so many people at this party, like, and babies just hanging out, like,
Yeah, just Waller, yeah.
whatever. Everybody's cool with baby, and Anne's there, and like she's like dancing and having a good time, and they're playing darts together and things like that. But my favorite is when old mama cuts a rug, man. She goes out there and dances. It's my favorite.
See, this is because we were talking earlier about how we kept on forgetting whether this was an 80s or a 70s film. When it got to the dancing part, that's when I was like, okay, this is 70s.
Yeah, because the music kicks in. But at that point, like the Wadsworth mama, she is dressed. She looks like Peggy Bundy. Like she's dressed up to the nines with like zebra striped stuff, and her hair's all poofed out. And then the older daughter, I don't even know what she did with her hair.
She looks like she was in the Looks That Kill video.
Yeah, I mean, her hair is like teased up so high. I mean, it looks like, man, it's crazy. But
I think that was the start of the mullet.
Maybe.
Really?
But man, other daughter just looked the same. Yeah. Other daughter though looked exactly the same. Like she didn't bother to do anything else with her hair.
Well, I mean, she was wearing a dress that left little to the imagination, though.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But man, you got Creepo McGee. Man, I mean, this dude is just jumping from dame to dame, and he jumps over to Anne, right? And the mama's like, you gotta get Denny off of her, or it's gonna foil our plans. And so you're like, plans? Uh-oh, what's gonna happen? So the young blonde goes and takes Denny and says, "Oh, I want to dance with you and go somewhere alone." And he's like, okay, new female, I don't care, I just smell teeth. And so I just smell lactation.
Oh, girl.
But anyway, so she's Anne's over there playing darts with the older daughter and some other folks, and she's drinking some punch, man. And
looks like a scene out of Roadhouse or something.
Oh yeah, and
what they are about those
mama's
darts.
like cutting the rug. She looks over at the older daughter, is like, gives her the look up. Get that bitch some Mickeys slipped into her drink.
Yeah.
And so she goes over there and steals her drink and puts in another drink that has fucking a roofie in it. And so she's like playing darts because she says it was a very telling line, because she said something like, you're not why are you trying so hard? She says, because I always win.
Yeah.
Along that line, like I always I get whatever I want when I want it, or something along those lines. And it was at that moment where it
was like, when you're a winner, you can't lose.
Something yeah.
Like that.
But it was at that point where I was like, something's not right here. That's when I really started to question her. But then I was like, but they're trying to like flip her a Mickey, man. So she indeed does get a Mickey slipped, and she starts to pass out or whatever. But then we're like back over to watching Creepy McGee and younger daughter with this dude, like basically like we've spent 10 minutes of him trying to get in her pants and her like leading him on, and then being like, no, maybe we could hang out tomorrow.
Yeah.
After she made him like almost set his pants on fire.
Oh yeah, the weird fire thing. I forgot about that.
Something. What is it? It's like, what would you do for paradise or something?
Yeah, what would you do for paradise? And he was like, anything. And she's like, give me your lighter. And he's like, can we just go have sex? And she's like, no, give me your lighter. And he's like, fine.
What about her line about the ambulance, though? Wasn't that like a perfect response to like, I don't want to get to paradise in an ambulance? She's like, why? It'd be a hell of a ride or something.
Yeah, because she gets a lighter and she lights it and she's like, put your hand on it. And I'm like, all right, well, that's like, man, it's just like, yeah, I get you, I got you. So, but yeah, but something. So, like, at some point, baby goes crazy, right? And that kind of what goes on, like, next.
Okay, so after that happens, that's when Anne Gentry starts to be overcome by the roofie, and they notice, and so they're like, oh, we're just gonna take her upstairs to sleep this off, like she'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was. Did you either of you notice, like, they're like, let's take her upstairs, but then she was in a room that wasn't upstairs, like they were downstairs?
Yes. That confused me too.
It was probably the director, like, we'll just film some steps later.
Yeah.
Whoops, budget ran out.
Who needs continuity? Continuity. I can't
I wrote in my notes, like, they take her to the attic, and then when I see them come out of the same level, I was like, oh, okay. And I put locked room.
I mean,
we got a 21-year-old baby and teat. We don't need continuity.
Yeah, we got teats and babies. What do we need continuity for? But yeah, like,
its audience.
Baby starts crying and goes ape shit, man. Like, baby just starts jumping all over the place and slamming into people. People don't know what's going on, and it creates a ruckus. And somehow, Anne has superpowers, and the roofie doesn't affect her anymore.
Yeah, she's Wonder Woman.
Like, I mean, there's no way a lot of time had passed. Now, I guess if I were director, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it was like 4 hours later. Whatever. No time passed. It was like 5 seconds. But anyways, within all this shit, I mean, stuff's getting thrown around everywhere. And so she kidnaps baby. Mm-hmm. And this is where the movie starts.
yeah, pretty much.
This is where the movie starts. In my opinion, this is where the movie starts. This is when shit gets crazy.
It starts turning into a horror film.
Right. Yeah. So, and at this point, like, we start to see Anne treating baby continuously as a baby. Yeah. And so I think at this point, most people watching are going, okay, so she is not on the level like we thought. She is crazy.
No.
She's crazy too.
Yeah.
And Judith is all about it.
Yes, but didn't you also find it interesting how even though she was doing that, she still dressed him up and made him stand up to make it appear to the family that he was, like, progressing?
Yeah, that's what was really weird. So yeah, she's like trying to make him stand up and take a picture to look like, yes, that he had progressed. She put him in adult clothes, but it was all fake. It was all just a ruse. And she was still, and Judith is too. And it's like, God, it's like Judith is going, oh, yay, I have a grandbaby now. Like, I'm like, Judith makes no sense to me.
No.
Like, she's the weirdest character, man. Like, she's so weird.
In a film full of weird characters.
Yeah, but I mean, Anne is not shy about telling the Wadsworth clan that, hey, I stole your baby.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So, and it almost seemed as if it was official, like she acted as if she were Child Protective Services or APS or whatever, and removed him from the home. Yet he was at her home. Yeah. But
which I don't know if it'd be part of, like, that whole guardianship thing that she was talking about, like, fell in line with that. That's what I kind of had figured maybe is how they were justifying that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that she was supposed. So here's the thing: if you go back when she's at her work, she does talk to them, and the whole thing was that she was supposed to get baby to turn him over to a like a professional mental health facility,
like a school or something.
But she didn't. She kept him for herself. This is again when we're starting to go, this isn't right. And then we see the fakeness there, and then her actually treating baby like a baby, and it's just super strange. And so that's essentially how I start feeling about that. But I know at this point the Wadsworth family decides we're gonna break into Anne's house and steal this baby.
Yeah, which how they found her is like the scene where they're talking about like they have to find her, and then like 2 seconds later they found her.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
well,
okay,
it's just like the thing about it was too, like when they're breaking into the house or whatever. To me, because honestly, I know we said, and I agree with you 100%, Stefan, that this is where the film starts.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, go ahead.
This is where I started tuning out.
Oh, really? This is where I was like, all right, what's happening?
Well, it's just like break-in or whatever. It literally seemed like the stereotypical sitcom-y break-in where they're all dressed in black. All they needed was the Mission Impossible thing.
For sure, but that's this movie. That's what's odd about this movie, about not being able to figure out what genre it is. But I mean, I'm still like, these ladies are going to go in here and kill the fuck out of Judith and Anne. Like, that's what I'm ready for. Like, they're ready to go crazy because Anne, at this point, Anne was sending those pictures to them, taunting them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's a revenge flick at this point. Like, that's what I was waiting for. But man, what happened was unexpected.
Yeah. I kept wondering, like, why do they keep mentioning the pool? Like, why does that keep coming up? Like,
right.
I couldn't
Judith
correlate that.
Having this pool made.
But yeah, I figured that was gonna tie into the ending somehow when they first brought it up.
Right, because it was this random sidebar of like these workers working on a pool, and so they're digging this big square thing. But I mean, there were a lot of things that were sidebars that had no reason, like, you know, the sister trying to sleep with baby and things like that. There were a lot of throwaway things, so I didn't even really pay attention to it until that day, because then she was like, it's ready. Like, you know, she gave her that look of, oh, she's ready. I'm like, are they gonna kill baby? Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen, man. But like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. But yeah, so the sisters and the mama, they try to break in, like they're gonna kill this bitch for making baby do adult stuff. But man, what they weren't ready for was getting killed back.
You're never ready for that,
man. Jesus, Anne and Judith. Yeah. This is where I said Judith is my favorite character, because I love a killer that don't stop. And like when she comes at that axe and she's ready to like just like cut up that face, like she's ready to just keep going, and Anne's like, "Whoa, Judith, chill out, honey. I already killed her."
I just have to say that my favorite part was when they're at the top of the stairs. And all of a sudden, you just see Judith come out. And I was like, hot damn!
Judith, man, this is what I say. Judith is my favorite character because, dude, she just comes... This old lady comes out of nowhere and just kills the shit out of... I mean, it was
with a friggin' meat cleaver, dude.
That was great, man. And is just ready to go ham on this chick, man. And Anne's like, calm down. We're just killing people here.
Like, we're just... Don't go overboard, okay?
So I have a question, because when I saw Judith and what she was wearing, and like when they kept talking about the pool and the things that they were doing, I almost thought that maybe there was going to be some kind of like ritual, like there was going to be a sacrifice of some sort, but I didn't know why. Like, and then when she came out in that garb, I'm like,
that would have been more interesting, because what's implied here is that they knew that the Wadsworth family was going to come and do this, and that they were going to kill them months in advance.
Yes.
Yeah. Because what happens is like after stabbing the two sisters to death, they knock out the mom and take the sisters and essentially put them bury them where the pool's going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how they dispose of the bodies, which again says that's what they had planned. And it just... I mean, I love premeditated murder, obviously. But
I'm a huge proponent of it.
Yeah. But this is a little far-fetched. I mean, But then again, so I don't think Anne's plan to steal Baby was far-fetched, but the plan to kill them and bury them in the pool area, I feel, was a stretch.
Really? I mean, okay, so I didn't think it was a stretch because in the beginning of the opening credits, you have Judith and Anne sitting there. Anne's going through this new file that she just got after caseworker, has gotten off the case, and they're discussing it together. And so for me, I felt from the beginning that Judith was involved.
Sure.
So
I agree with that. In terms of getting the baby, but not murdering the family.
Yeah.
Oh.
Especially because how would they have known that the family was going to try to break into their home?
Yeah. And they were, and I mean, it is from the beginning of this film, which I'm going to say this film has to take place. What would you say the stretch of this film is? Couple of months?
Yeah.
I would say over a month or two, no more than that, probably.
I feel like in the very beginning that Anne said something like, "Thank you so much for letting me spend the last few months with Baby." So I definitely feel like within like the first 10 minutes, at least 4 months go by, in my opinion. For her to develop a relationship with Baby.
Well,
now
they're building, and they're putting in this pull from the get-go, though.
Right. And so now, don't get me wrong, they could have had alternate plans. Like maybe they planned on having the women come over and then they were going to kill them or something. I don't know. And it just turned out, oh, great, they showed up on their own. I don't know, because it was never implied ever that there was another plan in place, because you sure the hell can't hope to God that they break into your house that where she doesn't even know where you and Judith lives. So
yeah, I don't know, maybe not necessarily the plan all along to lure them, but I do think the plan all along was to get rid of them in order to do what essentially they were wanting to do, and the whole reason why she took the case to begin with. Right. I mean, she took the case for a purpose, which we find out at the end.
Which is where we are. Now, I will say the murder scenes are pretty good. They're good. The intensity is good. The tension's there, especially because you're not expecting it, because you're expecting the sisters and the mom to be the one doing the murdering. Because at this point you already realize that Judith and Anne are far too calculated in killing these women. So they did have some sort of plan. And so that at this point you're like, who's the bad guy?
Yeah.
Because they're both.
Like I said, this whole film was just filled with like unlikable characters.
Yeah, unlikable characters.
They're all sort of terrible people.
Yeah, the only person I liked was Baby.
Yeah.
Even because he was an innocent.
Yeah, he was an innocent. Yeah. I would have liked the babysitter if she hadn't shoved her teat in Baby's mouth.
It got off on it.
Yeah.
I have to say I cringed more times than I thought I would watching this, because this film just does not age well at all.
That's something we were. Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely some antiquated terms that are.
You could not make this now.
No.
I know that gets tossed around a lot. Because I mean, I was watching something the other day where somebody was complaining about how the term "blazing saddles" couldn't get made now. Gets tossed around a lot. But no, honest to God, you could not make this now.
No. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, no, you could not use this script verbatim. Much like Blazing Saddles, you can't use the script verbatim. You could still make it and change some things. But yeah, verbatim, There's too much, I don't know. There's too much antiquated stuff. It would have to be updated, and it would need I don't know, a story.
Some continuity.
Yeah, some continuity. Like, I don't know, a writer. Probably
Character backgrounds.
Character. Anything?
It did have a director. I mean, you know, it had a director and a cinematographer. That
I will say
I
this.
guess that's one thing.
The dude, Ted Post, I mean, he's a legit director, so you know he was taking this very seriously. I would have loved to have seen what Kaufman and Troma would have done with this film.
That's exactly what came to mind.
Because they would have exploited the shit out of it in all the best ways.
Oh, it would have. Oh my God. It. Okay. Are we saying that Lloyd Kaufman got a hold of it back when this was made, or like when Trauma was like big? Like what era are you talking about?
I don't care. I'd say anytime. But yeah, I mean there is a big
because if Trauma got a hold of it today, oh my God, it would be so seedy and gross.
Oh yeah. So like I'm saying late 70s, early 80s Trauma, where they were still trying to make movies. I think still would have been ridiculous, but
but it would have been a little tamer.
So go ahead.
I had a question, like, so were either of you surprised at, like, for the type of film that it was, that the acting wasn't bad?
No, and I said this in the beginning. The actors were not bad actors, it was just a bad script.
Yeah,
I thought everyone.
I kind of disagree with that, honestly.
Oh, really? I thought the actors played their roles exactly how they needed to.
I thought it was a little too hammy. On it,
on 73 though. I mean, it's, you know, like it's before like films got gritty. Like it's like right, it's like a few years away from films getting gritty because like Chainsaw comes out what 74?
Yeah, 74, 75.
So the very next year, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre changed the landscape of horror films massively.
Truly.
And so before that, it was all like goofy shit, like Spider Baby, you know, like it's kind of like that because they're still trying to like pull off of the Universal and that kind of feel, and the B movies are what were big at that time. Or it was like Hammer Gothic stuff. So it was like, you know, it fits the time period for me perfectly.
Coming out of like sci-fi era type going-ons of horror to like actual like possible horror, like things that are going on like that could possibly happen to people. I think it took a real life turn, it seemed.
Well, that's what Chainsaw Massacre did by setting it up being based off of true events and in a lot of ways filming it almost documentary style was it changed everything.
It's like coming out of like monster movies, creatures.
Now, you know, Chainsaw Massacre was not the first for like gore or body horror or anything like that. There were definitely precursors to that, but yeah, this was definitely your standard run of the mill B movie exploitation, weird, because you know right around this time too, late 60s early 70s is when they were making like those nudie cutie movies and like just exploitation movies, like, you know, like goofy movies, like, you know, because like I said, it was right around Grindhouse, but like Grindhouse isn't really kicking in until like mid 70s, and I think Grindhouse is probably like spawned a lot because of Chainsaw Massacre. So this is like just fitting. Like I feel like there were those theaters that showed softcore porn. I feel like this movie, even though it's not softcore, that's the type of place it would have been seen in.
Oh, for sure.
I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it was just like, you know, it was just a weird, or at a drive-in, you know, or because it said limited release, which means it didn't hit a lot of theaters.
It's definitely like a, I'm not speaking for personal preference or anything, but it's definitely like it is definitely like a fetishy movie. You know.
Yeah, and then I wish I could remember what is the word? It's whatever I said it to you earlier is the word that describes that fetish of wanting a man to be a baby. This guy that I was watching his review, he talked about it's like infanta something.
and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, see, and I think I meant to bring this up a little earlier, but I thought the mother of the film, to me, I feel like we were kind of discussing earlier, I feel like baby was being forced into being a baby. I don't think there was anything particularly wrong with them. And I felt like it was the mother because, we said the mother, I think it said that her husband, she's been married 3 times. Her first 2 husbands died, which I think is meant to kind of be under mysterious circumstances. Like she could have, killed them. And the third is missing. Baby's father is missing. Right. So to me, it felt like she wanted baby to stay a baby so she could have some kind of man.
I think they even mentioned something along those lines, like that was the case. But getting to the end here, so spoiler alert again. We're about to ruin the movie for you because we have to talk about this. Is you finally find out why Anne wanted this baby and why Judith was so involved with having this baby, man, because they go upstairs after everything is said is done, and she's essentially the baby's legal guardian, so to speak. And I don't think he's 21 in his mind. I think all the cattle prodding, everything has essentially forced him into that mental stigma of being that baby. But they get up there, and we find another man baby with a head injury, and it turns out to be her husband.
Yep.
So she already knew how to raise a man baby, and she wanted her husband baby to have a friend baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it was all about. The whole thing was her and Judith trying to make sure that Judith's son-in-law and Anne's husband had a playmate.
Judith's son.
Yeah, Judith's son and Anne's husband had a playmate with the same mental capacity, essentially, because in the car wreck that was alluded to, he had a huge brain injury, and for some reason, he's still wearing the wrap around his head, even though it happened.
Right. I think did that just because
I
think they really felt like the people watching this film weren't going to. So they were like, "This signifies, this. We need them to know he has a brain injury." So literally put a cast around his forehead.
Medical tape.
Jeez, man.
Did anyone else, were either of you curious, because she blamed herself for the accident? I wish I would have elaborated a little more on that.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. There was no detailed backstory. It was pretty quick. I mean, the movie itself was 85 minutes. It didn't even run an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was a long 85 minutes.
It was indeed. And the whole movie felt like it was set in 1985. But yeah, it was just, they did that. Yeah. And so I think she felt guilty, and I felt she felt that if she got him a friend or a brother, that would make up for it. And I'm sitting there you got to change 2 grown-ass man's diapers and let them suck on your teeth. Plural.
There we go.
But I mean, you know
the day.
You know who is lactating though? That babysitter. So you got to back up.
Sequel.
She already knows how to babysit big men. Man, I'm gonna call her.
The fuck is wrong with you?
I hope my wife's not listening.
Only that one guy listening to this show.
Yeah,
he's probably rubbing his nipples. Well,
I can lactate too.
I guess that's a good thing. I'm your first guest, right? That way,
guest. But so essentially, that's the movie in a nutshell. So like I said, this movie was released in 1973 to a very limited theatrical release, to the point where I don't even have information on how many theaters it was released to. There was limited. Here's the thing: there was a lot of marketing that was done, mostly in other countries.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that a lot of times any American film does well in those countries, especially back then, if you have a country that doesn't have its own film studios, I'm sure. So,
Yeah.
I got here that it has a 93% based on 15 views on Rotten Tomatoes.
well,
93%.
now make it 16 reviews. I'm gonna put it on.
This thing, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to, start anything, but this thing has a better rating than Batman Superman.
That's so stupid.
I'm sorry. It has a better.
That right there, the way the Marvel fanboys have bashed the DC movies is exactly why I kill our guests. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, totally.
What?
We're killing it. We're killing it on this show, man. But yeah, so
you're a killer guest
for such a limited release. It's been released twice before. It's been released on VHS and DVD in the year 2000, and then it's even been re-released in 2011 on Blu-ray and DVD by Severin Films. So, and they had to transfer over from the original negative, which is where I'm sure Shudder grabbed it from. So it's on Shudder and YouTube if anybody wants to check it out. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to read here is this. Some of the reception here, like we talked about from critics. So TV Guide awarded the film 3 out of 5 stars.
Yes.
3 out of 5 stars, not as a horror film, but just as a film in general. Calling it competently directed and stated, despite its occasional lapses into genuine bad taste, is fairly effective and contains a truly surprising twist ending. Dennis
Really?
Schwartz from Ozus World Movie Reviews rated the film a grade B, stating that the film managed to hold attention throughout the entire duration and contained a genuinely surprising twist ending, but criticized the film's performance as being over the top, as well as its use of actual footage of mentally disabled children for exploitation.
No!
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah. Like I said, I have no idea how much money this film made. I can't find it. I can't find the budget. I'm sure if I really, really dug into it, I could find it.
I mean, I've been looking and nothing is coming up at all.
I mean, we can blame the movies that came out that year because Exorcist came out that year. Oddly enough, Magnum Force, which he also directed, also came out that year.
What? I want to know this guy. Like you said, he directed a couple of good films.
Mm-hmm.
What made this cross his path?
Like,
he was like,
this is the 70s. So at this point, it's not like the studio is like, well, you're under contract and you got to do the film that we tell you. No, at this point, they were accepting films. And I don't know if this was his first major film. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, he got Magnum Force.
I mean, what made him say, like, this story needs to be told?
Yeah, I know. It's like he read the script and was like, I am the guy for this.
Yeah.
I'm the guy. I like wearing diapers. I'm totally down. Like,
I completely relate to this film.
I mean, you had Live and Let Die come out that year, Serpico, Walking Tall, African Graffiti, The Sting. I mean, lots of good flicks. So, I mean, essentially what that tells me is he had other options.
I mean, this is almost like a movie that you would see. Like, you know how, like, in television shows and stuff, they'll, like, whenever the characters go to the movies, they have the fake posters in the background.
Mm-hmm.
This is almost like one of those movies.
I know. To give you an example of exploitation, Cleopatra Jones, Coffee, and Blackenstein all came out that year in terms of blaxploitation. The Crazies came out that year, George Romero.
Oh.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's good, man.
Bro, you need to.
And here's the thing, to talk about The Crazies. The Crazies is one of those films that I both enjoy the original and the remake. I think both of them are done very well.
I only find the remake everywhere because I'd like to see the original. And
yeah, it's
good.
Ooh, Devil and Miss Jones came out. that year, all kinds of stuff. I could keep going. But anyways, yeah. So that's our movie. That's essentially the movie. And I know we what we like to do, Victoria, is we like to rate the movie in 5 stars, or up to 5 stars, as a horror movie and as a legit movie. So we basically, we'll rate it twice. So we'll start with a legit movie. So as a legit movie, I rate this half a star. I did not think it was great. I didn't think the pacing was well. I thought the story was discombobulated. It was all over the place. The subject matter was so weird. There was teat sucking. And it was just, I don't know, just a strange film. I thought the acting was okay. I thought it fit what it was, but I didn't think it was anything remarkable. So yeah, I'm going to give it, and I've never done this, but I'm giving a movie, for a legit movie, half a star. I've never, you like everything you've ever seen. So yeah, that's pretty mind blowing. What about you, Lance?
Oh, we're just doing a movie right now, or horror movie?
Regular movie.
Regular movie. You know, honestly, I feel pretty much the same way you did, but I'm gonna give it a 2.
2 stars?
2, just because like I said, I thought it was well directed. The cinematography, I can't pronounce words today.
It's because it sucked.
It's
because it sucked.
Well, I thought the cinematography was good, and yes, the story. I felt like it was ambitious, though. I do feel like it was ambitious. I felt, because nothing else. I mean, I don't even know, man. To this day. Nothing. I've never seen anything quite like this, for better or for worse.
Do you know why it got half a star from me and not bomb? The costumes, because I love the costumes.
The costume.
That's it. The costume and the makeup and hair. That's it. That's what I got.
But I just, like I said, I felt like it was very ambitious. Did it achieve? I mean, did it succeed? No. But I felt it was very ambitious. It was very brave to say that.
What about you, Victoria?
What?
Victoria, what about you?
Oh, so I'm kind of along the lines with Lance here. Not quite 2 stars for me, though. It's going to be 1.5. And essentially for the same reasons. Like, I do feel like it was ambitious. I think there were a lot of good ideas behind the script. It just wasn't fully fledged. They missed a lot of, I think, great opportunities for character building and to kind of create this world for us that we could fully be enveloped in the story. I don't think we were able to really get attached to any one particular character very well because we didn't really have any background information. But yeah, the cinematography was great. The acting, given the script, was not bad. I did not enjoy it. Like, it was interesting. It was very cringeworthy. But it wasn't horrible. Like, you know, I don't know if I'd watch it again for fun.
Yeah, no.
Now I'd watch it. Yeah. I'd watch it with a group of people in Mystery Science Theater 3000 the shit out of it.
Sure, yeah, totally.
In that regards, yeah, but I'm not going back and watching it like I do Spider Baby.
No, yeah, or I might watch it with someone who's never seen it just to watch them cringe.
Yes. Yeah,
just to watch their expressions.
Yes. Yeah.
I will say this, that the producers missed a golden opportunity to create a sequel called The Toddler.
True.
And seen him
where baby ages.
Yes, where he's a 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
And he's now the age of 2.
Yeah.
Played by a 55-year-old.
Played by Roy Scheider. Like,
you're gonna need a bigger crib.
Yeah, you're gonna need a bigger crib. And then the next one, of course, which is like, it's just called Teething, and it's a 3-year-old, and it's like Burgess Meredith. Anyways, as a horror movie, again, half a star. I'll give it 1 star because I really liked Judith coming at this bitch with this meat cleaver. Woo, man. I did enjoy that quite a bit. But yeah, it was far more exploitation, far more, I don't know, drunk M. Night Shyamalan to like, for me to consider it a horror movie. It just didn't feel like a horror movie in any way, shape, or form. It felt more exploitation. I know there are people who say that fits into that genre. It didn't for me. It was just weird more than anything. The only reason it gets 1 star is because it made me laugh. And I do like horror movies that, you know, make fun of themselves, though I think this movie was trying to take itself seriously, but it made me laugh a number of times because of how ridiculous Judith was and how ridiculous the Wadsworth clan was. Like, they were, all their scenes were the best. Like,
yeah,
those were the best.
But to be fair, M. Night Shyamalan, if he were drunk, could still make a better fucking movie.
For sure.
Sorry, excuse my language. Yeah.
Do you both think, though, that this is one of those films that could benefit from a remake?
Yes.
No. Oh, really?
I say no, just because it's so culty that what's going to happen is that someone's going to remake it with cult in mind, and it's going to miss the point. Like I said, this movie tried to take itself seriously, and I think
they'll play it for laughs.
They'll play it for laughs. That's why I said I think Trauma, that's exactly what they would do, you know, like, and I think it would miss the point, and it would be one of those awful movies that when you're going down a rabbit hole on Amazon Prime that you come across that you're like, how'd this end up on Amazon Prime? Like that, it's going to be one of those. So yeah,
I can see that.
Well, you said you think it should?
Not that it should. I think that it could be with the right director. Honestly, to the credit of Netflix here, they have a lot of really good original content that I've enjoyed, and adaptations.
Sure.
And I could see if Netflix chose to be like, hey, let's remake this, but let's update it, let's modernize it, and have a better script and have a well thought out storyline with the same ideas of like, this person's been made to believe and act as a baby, and take out the exploitation part of it and more make it like that horror where like you are like deathly afraid of this family and like what they do to people, and use this man baby to lure people in to care about.
I can see that, because then they could really spend time on the conditioning that he's going through, where he can have these moments of recognizing that he is a man, and then they beat it out of him or things like that. Yeah, I could. All right, you won me over.
Because especially because you can tell.
Yeah.
Yes, and especially because you can tell, like, when Anne is coaxing him to, like, go get the ball, bring the ball back, like, he's looking back at Mrs. Wadsworth, like, like, is this okay? Should I do this? Am I going to get hurt again if I do? Like, there's that thought process. You can tell he's thinking there's someone inside there, literally trapped, you know?
Yeah, I guess I can see that. So, but what about you, Lance, for horror movie?
I'm going to go 1.5. And that's just for the last, like I said, 20 minutes. And because if the last 20 minutes wasn't attached to the other 70, you know, it would probably rate higher. But it was just like I said, like the last 20 minutes to me is where it does become a horror film. But it was just like by that point, I was just sort of checked out. I was just sort of going through the motions of the film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just sort of sitting there watching. It's not like whenever that segment of the film started that I was like, just, you know, became elated, like, oh, this is getting good. It was like, no, by then it's too late.
Yeah.
So
you know?
Does slow burn not really work well for you, or it just didn't work well for
No,
this?
see, a slow burn does. I love it. It was like,
yeah, me too.
Whenever I think of slow burn, for some reason, I always think of the 2014 Godzilla film. Because people were bitching, oh, Godzilla's not in it enough. Godzilla's not in it enough. And to me, it was just sort of like, well, yeah, because this is sort of like the Batman Begins for Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like, they're reintroducing the character.
Yeah.
And that was definitely, I feel like that film's definitely a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, it was just like, I was telling Stefan earlier, I was like I was kind of in a bad way when I watched this film. Like, because the day before I'd done like a lot of yard work and stuff, and I was like dehydrated. I felt like I was sick almost. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and watch this because I'm going to be hauled up in bed. And I think I was just, maybe in such a pissed off mood, I was just like, fuck this movie.
You were trapped, basically.
What's that?
Like you were trapped.
Yeah. I was just like, I was like
jailed like a baby in a crib.
Yeah. maybe that's why. I mean, I was just watching it, relating to it too much. Like,
all right, what's your rating for a horror movie, Victoria?
I'm gonna have to go with a 1. It didn't come off so much as horror to me as like suspense, like terror suspense with some yeah, and I wouldn't even put it like in a category of a thriller.
Yeah, me neither.
It is more of like a horrific suspense train wreck where like you want to look away but you can't.
Exploitation.
That's the perfect way to describe this film,
You know?
a train wreck.
Yep.
And it's like you need to see what's going to happen next. And I think on some level I was like, okay, maybe it's going to get better. Like maybe there's going to be a catalyst here. Like maybe there's like this point. But I mean, the slow burn, like I felt like, okay, within the first 10, 15 minutes of the film, like, all right, I already understand these broads. Like, I know what they're about. I know what they're doing. Can we please get to it? And it just kept going.
Yeah.
Going. And then we get to the scene where even the sisters breaking into the house didn't really need to take 10 minutes for us to watch them creep through some bushes. I mean,
that's why I'm like, how short was that original script, man? That they were like, hey girls, we're gonna need you to play around in these bushes for like 10 more minutes because we need to get close to his 90s.
Like I said, all it needed was the Mission Impossible music.
I would have laughed my ass off if that had happened.
Yeah, it was.
Or like you said, if this was a sitcom, I'd watch it. If it was like a horror sitcom, I'd watch it.
Because there was
that could maybe work. I could see it.
It's either got to go really stupid and be sitcom-y and goofy, or it's got to go serious as fuck. Like,
I could see it as a mini series.
Yeah, definitely. So there was one particular, and maybe this was part of like a saving grace for me in like the comedic part of this, because I think it's even described as a comedic horror.
I'm sure it is.
Where Anne has escaped with baby in her car, but she took a knife from the kitchen, right? And so she takes off. The trio get into their vehicle to speed off after her, and like we thought like, oh, it's gonna be like this chase, right? No, she flattened their back tire and like they can't move anywhere. And then I don't know who says it, but someone's like, man, she thinks of everything. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Thinks of everything.
She really is smart, guys. Maybe she should have baby. Because one of the daughters was like, we should give baby
but it was
to her. Right? Yeah, like the youngest daughter, right? Was like, one of them was like, we should give her baby. She, I don't think what we're doing is good.
Yeah, and even suggested what like the circus, like I guess the circus wanted to like buy baby.
Yeah.
So it gets a 1 from me.
Yeah. Well, that seems like your time is up. So thank you for Victoria there. Thank you for the baby for making that movie, Ted Post. And thank you, Victoria, for spending the rest of your life with us today.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it.
My life, I mean, thanks for having me, but I've got to go let my dog out. No,
you won't ever have to worry about your dog again.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tighten these ropes, Lance. If you'll go ahead and get the chainsaw.
What? Hey, stop! Stefan, Lance.
Yep.
Lance.
Okay. Just got it. I just oiled her up a little bit.
What are you doing with that?
Well, on that note, looks like we've got human remains to clean up, so we need to get out of here. And you know what? We'll see you guys next time. Looks like the dog's already smelling the flesh, but we'll see you guys next time. But you know who won't be seeing us? Victoria. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Stefan, your Mr. of the Dark.
Your other Mr. of the Dark, the man with no name, Lance Wayne.
And we want to go ahead and thank some cool people for making our theme song.
Yeah, we want to thank Corey Adams and Ashley Jones Adams from Nothing Wrong.
And let's get out of here, man. Like I said, this has been Stefan.
But before we go, dear listeners, I just want to leave you with this. You can't kill the boogeyman. Good night.
We love you, Elvira.